Kathleen again, and I just wanted to address something that comes up very often, which is mapping out on the slab. So it is something that Joe and I do with clients specifically based on what their needs are. They might like a big knot in a certain area or certain movement falling in a certain placement of their kitchen. We are all about it. So what we have to do today is map out basically a slab of Typhoon Bordeaux based on what the client's needs are. So what you see here is we actually use a 3mm coroplast for our templates. Gone are the days of Lawan, and we have never gotten into any of the laser templating because they are not as accurate as they say they are, to be honest. There is something to be said about hot glue, plastic, and levels, and good old tactile, templates. So basically what we're doing here is we force everything into the corner. We do not charge our clients for the slab. We charge them for the square feet they use. So with that being said, everything has to go the right way with the movement being respectful so that it all flows the right way. We have mapped this slab out already to show that everything has fit on here. Right here is a seam. You can't see it because the template's on here, but we actually try to hinge the seam if it is not able to be a true seam cut. So slabs are all different sizes, right? And so are cabinet layouts. So basically what we have to do is figure out when we make the template, we go armed onto the job site with the slab size, knowing what our retention is, also what the movement is. All this goes into play before we even get into your house. It's just the right approach. So right now, this is not going to be a true seam. The client is going to have a hinge seam, which basically is a stacked area that you get the same coloring going linear, and then basically this piece here is just going to hinge this way, just to give you an example. So that's an example of a hinge seam. In an ideal situation, you would want to cut the kitchen in its entirety and then seam it at the sink and make that break. So when we are putting it together, the veins are actually catching each other. It doesn't always happen that way. There's a lot of care taken to every step, and the map out process is one of the most important because the day that we pull up to the job site for installation is an exciting one. There should be no confusion. No one should be questioning anything. And all the attributes for the reason why you chose the slab you chose is really why we do the map out process. That the day of install, everyone's guard is down and we're just there to implement what was already planned. When it comes to mapping out with the client, we do know more. We've been doing this for a long time and we have done thousands of countertops, right? So in that case, once it gets in from the A-frame and it's on its back and it goes down on the saw, we start seeing things that sometimes need to be avoided, that you can't see when it's on its back. So what we do specifically is we will try to avoid things by shifting it 4 to 6 inch forgiveness. So if we see something, we would never disrespect the client's needs and just put it in a different area. We would never do that. What we do ask though is when they're here and upon them leaving, if we have to shift something a little bit, we will do that. This way, the expectation is still the same. They're still getting the majority of what they requested, and there's no questions upon the install. The install is the funnest part because it's what everyone's expecting, right? So it's just, to show you a part of the process. Whenever I mention that map out is possible, I always get asked, what's that, or why? Is it important? A lot of questions because a lot of other fabricators don't offer it. They don't offer it. They'll cut it the way they want to cut it, which is okay. But sometimes, if you're dreaming about that big knot of torts that you're obsessed with, they don't know and they don't care. That's just the end of it. We respect the fact that you spent the money and you want to know where the placement is. If you opt out of the map out process, that's fine. I will always map it out though. Me and Joe always do the map outs. We never leave it up to anybody else. So what I think is suitable is what I'll do. I would say that 70% of clients want to have a voice when they have a stone that moves. When you deal with natural product, mapping out is a part of the dialogue. When you deal with engineered product, like quartz or dectin, you do not get a say. It is what it is. Slabs are much more restricting. The movement is uniform, and quartz, it's a whole different ballgame. So I'm gonna make some videos about quartz applications. It's nowhere near the same as a natural application from the moment you purchase all the way up until fabrication. So I hope this helped, and on to the next video, right?